Hi, my dear friends. This is Erin English again, back with you today from Clairvoyant. This is the second video in our series about the 5 psychic categories. So, picking up in this video, we're going to talk about clairvoyance today. So, just as a recap, I'm going to tell you the 5 psychic categories again. If you haven't looked at the very first video, the first video does go over the 5 categories. So it's just a brief summary of those. So check that out. And the 5 categories are clairvoyance or clear seeing, clairsentience or clear feeling, clairaudience, clear hearing, claircognizance or clear knowing, and clairgustance or clear smelling or taste. So like I said, we're going to talk about the clairvoyance today, which is the clear seeing. So I think clairvoyance, a lot of people know about it. It's the most sought after gift, or it's at least the most well known. And I think that's just from movies, TV, television. They talk about it. They have series about clairvoyance. So I think a lot of people have some idea about what it is. And I'm just going to talk to you about whether or not you may be a clairvoyant. So how to determine if you are clairvoyant or how to practice it. How I think of it is if you close your eyes and you think about a past event in your life. So close your eyes, think about it. You get that dim recollection. You have those really sort of gray memories of what happened. Even if you think about what happened yesterday or a few minutes ago, you close your eyes and you think about it. That reflection is how clairvoyance works. So you'll see past, present, future in the same type of way, sort of with that dim memory, like a daydream. So that is one of the tricks of knowing whether or not you're getting a message, is understanding how that's going to come across. And so people aren't quite sure what that feels like. So if you practice thinking about what happened yesterday to yourself, close your eyes, try to imagine something that you know happened, and just get a feeling for how clairvoyance works. So that's something that you can try. Now, when you get visual messages, sometimes they're a little bit tricky. And I'll use an example from many years ago, because when you're only using clear seeing, which is seeing a sign in your mind's eye, it can be misleading. You don't have any context around it. So for example, I was giving a lady a reading and I saw a 4-leaf clover. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see 4-leaf clover, I think of luck. I think of, I don't know, the Irish, I think it's St. Patrick's Day, all of those things. Usually if it was in a reading, I would think of it as being lucky. But instead of putting my own interpretation on it, because it is so subjective, it's just a symbol and it can mean different things to different people. So instead of that, I said, I'm seeing a 4-leaf clover. And what it meant to her was something completely different than what it meant to me. And to her, it meant a friend of hers had recently passed away, and a group of her and her friends were looking at getting 4-leaf clover tattoos to symbolize him and to memorialize him on their bodies. So that's an example of once you get the hang of seeing these visual clues in clairvoyance, you have to also learn how to interpret them, and it doesn't always mean what you think. So that's also something that requires a little bit of practice. Now, I wanted to give you some practice tips. When I first started trying to figure out if I had any clairvoyance abilities, I used to, at the time, I had to take the bus everywhere. I was still in school, and I didn't have a phone at the time at the place where I was living. So what would happen is you could call for the bus if you had a phone to find out when the bus would come around on the loop, or you could look at a schedule and see when the next bus was going to be arriving. But I didn't have the ability to do that. We didn't have internet or phone or anything. So what I would do, I knew the bus's route in my head. So I would close my eyes and visualize where that bus was on its route. And the first time I tried it, I didn't expect it to work, but I had nothing to lose. So I saw where the bus was, and when I had an idea that it was close enough for me to go outside, I went to the bus stop, and sure enough, the bus came. And so each time I needed to take that particular bus, I would practice in the same way, using that clairvoyance, that clear sight. So that's one idea for you. I've also read online of somebody choosing a location in the world and having another person look it up on Google Maps, Google search, to get pictures of the location, and then focusing on a very specific area and then relaying that information, practicing. Did you see the same things as what you can find on the internet? So again, those are some practice ideas for you. Now with clairvoyance in particular, it requires you to have an open crown chakra and also a third eye chakra. So the best practice in order to make sure that you're clear and that you can receive images is meditation. There's crystals for that. There's a lot of information online, and maybe at a later point we'll do a video on that, but you can look that up in the meantime, practicing opening your chakras and meditation to still your mind. So that's it for clairvoyance today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you come back and check out the other videos in this series. We're still going to look at clairsentience, claircognizance, and clairgustance. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and visit our website at www.iclairvoyant.ca. Bye.